Howdy, freedom fighters. Name's Thomas. Thomas McClelland. You know, I've met a lot of interesting folk in my days. I've met, let's see, Mr. Burton. I've met Mr. McMurphy. But the one man who I'll always remember was a feller who I met when I was in New York. I'll tell you his name. It says the name is Plissken. Snake Plissken. Now, if y'all sit back, I'll tell you his tale. I'll tell you the time when he escaped from New York. Hope you don't mind if I get comfortable, huh? Now then, let me start you with a little backstory on my boy Snake. See, Snake here, he's a bit of that character that everybody loves to be. The tough, gruff bad guy. Or the tough, gruff anti-hero, to be more politically correct. Yeah, my boy Snake here, he don't give a damn about his own rules. And his rules is law. But it's weird, because originally I heard something from Snake. Originally, he was going to be played by two different actors at one point. Chuck Norris and Tommy Lee Jones. Chuck Norris was too old, in my opinion. Tommy Lee Jones, come on, Tommy Lee Jones, really? That ain't going to work, partner. So, they dodged a bullet on that one. But, weird thing about this film is the setting that Snake takes place in. It's America, 1997. America's in the middle of World War III. And right now the president had crashed down in New York. Now, usually, the only president that I've known to crash down in New York is Gerald Ford. But this president crashed into a highly maximized security prison that is the former New York City. And it couldn't have been a better time. Since 1988, New York was a maximum security, the worst of the worst. Only a few have escaped, including yours truly. But that ain't the point. The point is that originally, according to my buddy Snake, this was originally, the script was made in 1974. And in 1974, America was going through a bunch of tough stuff. Vietnam had just ended, Nixon got impeached, Watergate had blown over, people didn't trust the government no more. And of course, can you blame them? But that's besides the point. The point being, my buddy Snake here, the America he knew was gone. He just gotten out of Vietnam Part 2. He had just been arrested after a bogus bank job. My man was hurting. But the US government needed him to save the president. Thank God this is the current president we had, and not the president in 1997, because you know what happened then. You all know what happened then. But thankfully, my boy Snake was given one option: go into the prison or we fucking kill you, as they said. How can the man refuse? So my boy Snake, equipped with the best technology, went in and survived New York. It was a hell of a place. Gangs everywhere, crazies that lived in the sewer, Adrian Barbeau, everyone was there. Even my boy Harry Dean Stanton was there, or Brett as some people like to call him. So they went in, guns a-blazing, and saved the president. I gotta admit, folks, this is one of my favorite adventures that Snake was on. Because it's so good, to be honest. It's got great pacing, great action, and at times it can be downright terrifying. Which is what a good film, directed by the legend John Carpenter, should be. And thank goodness for the man they picked to play Snake, Kurt Russell. Which was interesting, because this was just after Kurt Russell did another film with John Carpenter. A little film called Elvis Presley. I'm not even kidding, his first collaboration he did with him was Elvis Presley the movie. Because at the time, Kurt Russell was seen as a bit of a, well, you're gonna find this funny. He had started his film doing Disney films, and in fact, he actually did a film where he kicked Elvis in the shin. Funniest thing ever. It's like, hey boy, kick me in the shin. You sure there, mister? Yes, Mr. Brother. Ah! Well, thank you very much. Adults, they're all crazy. Little did we know that little boy would soon grow up to be Snake. Or something like that. Point being, this film right here proved that Kurt Russell is the king of 80s and 90s action movies, and it was an honor for him to play my buddy Snake. But we also have to talk about the other amazing cast. We got lots of familiars with this film, for a John Carpenter film. His then-wife Adrienne Barbeau, who plays the hooker with the heart of gold. Henry Dean Stanton, who's pretty much good in everything he's in. Tom Atkins, with the return of his mustache in there. And, of course, and we also got, oh, I forgot, we got the Duke of New York also in that, played by the man, the love machine himself, Ozzy Hayes. You're damn right, baby. Yes, that's right, the man who brought us the theme song for Shaft. And of course we got Ernest Borgnine as the cabbie with a nice little cameo there. Ernest Borgnine's always good, man, what can I say? And hey, he gets to take out a few punks with a Molotov. Those things are just like gold around here. Anybody think that he's pretty much playing like a crazy version of the cabbie from Taxi? Just saying. And of course, the president, played by Donald Pleasence himself. Yeah, Donald Pleasence. It's kind of weird that they got a Brit to play the American president, but there might be a reason for that. According to Donald Pleasence, this is something that was going to originally be in the script, but they had to cut it out due to political shit, you know how it is. Apparently, according to Donald Pleasence, his president there is actually the offspring of Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher, two of the most conservative politicians you can ever think of. I think that's just evil incarnate right there, pretty much, but that's just me. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments. But thank goodness for the president, because even he gets to kick a little ass here. I mean, yeah, he's evil and a bit of a corrupt thing, but at least he helps out Snake escape. And speaking of Snake, let's talk about another thing I like about this film, Snake's appearance. Apparently, the eye patch was added in by Kurt Russell to give him that more gruff-looking feeling. And apparently he even kept the eye patch later for a few other films he was in, including the sequel to this film, which, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, the sequel sucks. It really sucks. They tried, and I like the fact that Kurt kept the costume from that film, but it's bad. Just really bad. Skip it. And, speaking of the costume, I really do like his costume, not just for the eye patch, but for all the things that's got. The leather jacket, the cut-off shirt, the military cargo pants. And of course, when he takes off that shirt, not only are you getting a heaping eyeful of his biceps and everything, you're also getting that classic tattoo, a cobra, sprouting from his crotch. And according to my boy John Carpenter, Snake's appearance was based on a real person he met at high school named Snake, who also had a tattoo of a snake. I'm not going to say if it was near his penis, but let's assume that's where it was. But besides all the action, all the amazingness, it even has some little surprise moments in it. For example, this wasn't actually shot in New York. It was shot in St. Louis, because they couldn't afford to shoot in New York. And the matte paintings for this film was made by a certain James Cameron. I'm not sure if you know who he is, you probably heard of him though. And apparently that set was so good it was later used for Blade Runner. I'm not even joking, that's the same set they used for Blade Runner. A bunch of other stuff as well, but that's one of the big ones. And what else is there? Oh yes, I remember. Did that voice that narrates a lot of the stuff in the film sound familiar? That woman's voice that you hear was none other than Jamie Lee Curtis herself as the narrator. And ironically, she was also the TV announcer in Halloween 3. And she always gives those very authoritarian, kind of robotic voices that just creeps you out, don't you think? And damn, she'd be creepy, man. You go, Jamie. You milady. But, besides all this awesomeness, there are a few problems with the film. We don't get a lot of character motivations in the film. It kind of feels just like any generic action film with a B-movie plot. But John Carpenter makes it work because he gives this B-movie plot a bunch of A material to work with. And yeah, some of the effects haven't aged perfectly well, some of the computer stuff, but we can ignore that. Point being, Snake Plissken is a goddamn legend, and this film cemented that thing. If it wasn't for this film, who knows, we may have not gone Metal Gear Solid. I mean, think about it. Does Snake look a little familiar to anyone else? Now, excuse me. I have to be off. But before I get off, I gotta tell you folks something. If you like this video, feel free to like and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and don't forget to be on our social medias where we'll be posting new content stuff. And don't forget to look up our channel for any of our other videos, and keep an eye out for any of our new stuff. And if you want any more new stuff, feel free to let us know in the comments. Now, excuse me, freedom fighters, there's a war out there. And I gotta go fight it. So I'll leave you with this. If you're looking for somebody, be with the one you're with. Be with the one you love.